Hello, this is Tony Hiller from RealClimateScience.com. According to the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the first decade of the 20th century was the coldest of the last 1,000 years. And according to NASA, the 4 years from 1908 to 1911 was the coldest 4-year period on record. Carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere around 1911 were very close to what's considered a safe 300 parts per million. So according to what we hear from the press and politicians, the years around 1911 must have had a very stable climate. So let's take a look at the cold, safe, stable climate of 1911. This week in 1911, a temperature of 101 degrees was recorded at Lewiston, Maine on May 22nd. The average temperature at Lewiston, Maine on May 22nd is 68 degrees, and this year it was 66 degrees. But in 1911 it was 101 degrees, which according to the Boston Globe was the hottest temperature ever recorded there in any month. Boston Globe, May 23, 1911. Heat kills 3 and prostrates 21. New England swelters in the grasp of record May torrid wave. Mercury climbs above 100. Pittsburgh Post, May 23, 1911. All May records broken. Mercury soars to 99 degrees. The Sydney Morning Herald, May 22, 1911. The terrific heat wave that's sweeping over the United States has been responsible for hundreds of deaths. However, the record temperature at Lewiston, Maine of 101 degrees didn't last very long, because on July 4, 1911, they got up to 102 degrees. July 4th, 1911 was the hottest July 4th on record in the United States. All heat records in New England broken. Deaths and suicide toll in Baltimore. People were killing themselves to escape the heat. A July 1911 heat wave killed thousands of New Englanders and sent many over the brink of madness. In every major northeastern city, the sweltering heat drove people to suicide. On July 4, 1911, temperatures hit 103 degrees in Portland, Maine, 104 in Boston, a record that still stands, 105 in Vernon, Vermont, and 106 in Nashua, New Hampshire. At the time, the Boston Globe reported much higher temperatures, 112 degrees in Maine and 110 degrees in New Hampshire. A large percentage of the United States was over 100 degrees on July 4, 1911. And they were also having a terrible heat wave in Europe. A 70-day-long heat wave in Paris killed more than 40,000 people. Over 1,000 people died in Germany. There was great heat in England, large numbers of deaths in Paris, heat and drought in America. During that same time period, Australia was seeing record warm winter temperatures. And besides the record heat in May, June, July, and August, there was also an unprecedented heat wave in January and February in Texas. In early February 1911, Fort Worth, Texas reached 93 degrees. On November 29, 1911, Panama set the world record rainfall of 2.5 inches in 5 minutes. And also during the stable climate of 1911, China experienced the world's 8th deadliest flood, with up to 100,000 dead and 375,000 people left homeless. According to our leading climate academics, this was the coldest period of the last 1,000 years and therefore must have had the most stable climate. And they say that if they shut down our energy supply and take away our mobility, we can return to the safe climate of 1911. Henry Kissinger explained how this theory works. Who controls the food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control whole continents. Who controls money can control the world. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on the climate scam for the past 15 years. You can visit him, Kyrie, Caesar, Toki Upla, and the 4 new puppies on the web at RealClimateScience.com.